Hello there. What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be answering a very commonly asked question about Armada and specifically my channel's content on Armada, and that's when are you going to update your what to buy first for Armada? Because, well, to be frank, my what to buy first series is a little old for Armada, and you might think it's a little out of date. I understand that. So going to be talking about that today. Also, there is still time left to enter to win the latest giveaway for the $25 Amazon gift card. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. And yeah, it's about as simple as that. Also, if you do want to support the channel, there's plenty of links in the description below for Patreon, which is a huge way to support the channel, as well as merch. There's t-shirts. There are Armada-based t-shirts. There's X-Wing Legion-based t-shirts. There's also the Gator necks, which are a face covering. They're all kinds of Star Wars themed stuff. So you're going to see all those in the description below. Pretty cool stuff. All right, anyway, now that I got all that stuff out of the way, basically, the main reason that I haven't updated anything as far as the what to buy first for Star Wars Armada is because I'm waiting. And I'm waiting specifically to see what comes out of Gen Con. Now, I get that my what to buy first series are primarily, Empire, for the Empire one, and then Rebels for the Rebel one. So like with Clone Wars factions coming and seemingly no new content for the Rebels or Empire, you might think that if I would just make one now, it would be good for presumably at least the next year. But you might be wrong because there's two important things coming that are not specifically slated for the Rebels or the Empire. And that is the Dials pack and the upgrade card pack. And the bigger reason is the upgrade card pack. The Dials is a complete mystery because I really don't know, and I've speculated on that in other videos. But the upgrade card pack is a crucial, integral part of how I base my what to buy first videos, because a lot of times there are certain ships that I prioritize way higher than other ships because of what comes with that ship. Armada is not a game where you just buy a ship because you like that ship, although that's certainly a factor. A big factor in buying a ship is also what upgrades come with it. How many of a certain ship should you buy? Is one enough, or do you need to get another? Like a lot of times I will say, you know what, hey, get a get this card, get a CR90 because it comes with leading shots, or get an MC30 because it comes with so many awesome things. Well, I want to know what's in the upgrade card pack, because that's going to have a big impact on how it could completely change the way that I order what you should buy first. And so I think that's really an important thing. Now, despite that, I think that my older videos are still, for the most part, pretty relevant as far as what to buy first. Now, the Superstar Destroyer, I believe that came out after my last round of videos, as well as Rebellion in the Rim, and then Wave 8 with the Starhawk and the Onager. And I think all of those, with the exception of Rebellion in the Rim, kind of rank a little bit on the lower side of what to buy first. First off, they're all wicked expensive, with the exception, of course, of Rebellion in the Rim, which means they're probably not something that you need to buy first. While the Starhawk is, like a really cool ship and really, really strong, I still would kind of put it a little bit lower because it's not typical of the Rebellion, and it's, I don't view that as something that I wouldn't recommend that very early on, to newer players. And similar with the Onager, it's got such a whole new shot type of mechanic. It's like, it just seems like it's not necessarily something that you'd want to bring early on. They seem like they're more advanced ships. Wave 8 seems like it's more of an advanced wave, and I don't think new players need to start out with Wave 8. Unless, of course, you want to, and then by all means, go for it. But the same thing with the Superstar Destroyer. Even though the Superstar Destroyer is super, super cool, right? The SSD is amazingly cool. It's also insanely expensive. So if you're a new player, because my what to buy first videos are based on somebody approaching the game from a budget. If you're not on a budget, buy one of everything. And if you're really not on a budget, buy two of everything. In some cases, I've bought 4 or more of certain ships, but two of everything is really a kind of a good overall strategy to go with, because that's going to get you a lot of diversity. But generally, people are on a budget and they want to know, like, well, what would be kind of, how am I going to get my biggest bang for my buck? And with the SSD, I'm like, if you've got $200 to spend, you can get a whole lot more fleet variety by not buying an SSD, right? So, like, for the most part, my rankings are about the same as they were, with the exception of I would put the SSD and then the Onager at the bottom, probably Onager first, SSD very, very last, and I put the Starhawk maybe at the bottom of the Rebels, because that's the most expensive Rebel ship they've ever had. So again, if you're on a budget, if you've got like $80 to spend, we could probably get you some other things that are going to give you a little more build options, as opposed to just that one ship. It's kind of like the same general thing. So I kind of feel that way. I think that my old rankings are for the most part pretty accurate. I will throw out there that Rebellion in the Rim should probably be prioritized because of the fact that it's got so much stuff for, so the titles that are very, very functional, titles that are good for everything that comes in the core set, which is, so you're guaranteed to have, at least 3 ships, that the, presumably, unless you've traded away, like if you're only Rebels and you've traded away your Victory or something like that. But yeah, so you're probably going to have, ships that this thing is going to have titles for. And it's got a lot of really cool upgrades, a lot of fixes, and just a lot of just good stuff all around. I think Rebellion in the Rim is one of the first buys that you get. So I would put that one pretty close to the top. The only problem with Rebellion in the Rim is that it doesn't actually come with a new ship. So while it wouldn't be the first buy, I would suggest, it would probably be in the top 4, somewhere around there. Once you've got enough to get a couple of different ships under your belt, and you can field a full fleet without too much problem, and have a little bit of wiggle room. Like, I'm going to try this ship, and then once you've got enough ships to field a full build plus one more, that's when I would probably say now it's time to get Rebellion in the Rim. Because you're just going to get a whole lot of more flexibility to the ships that you already have, and that's just kind of a loose ranking, and I'll do this more formally, but I really want to know, what's coming in the upgrade card pack, and also what the dial upgrade expansion is all about too, because in theory that could also have an impact on how I rank everything as well. If you're starting out, and maybe new reprinted versions. I mean, again, we need more news. But one of my theories was that ships will stop coming with dials, and you only buy enough dials, for what you need. Well, that would be, that's a really important thing when you're telling somebody how to get started in the game. And if they're going to be like, if reprints are not going to come with dials anymore, you might want to say, okay, well, you want to start off with 2 dial packs. That's going to get you enough for most 800-point lists, or something like that. And also that could impact the cost of everything moving forward. And then naturally I will do what to buy first for, the Separatists and the Republic. But at first I'm not going to, because it's going to be buy the starter and then buy the squadron pack and buy maybe an extra starter, probably 2 starters and 2 squadron packs. And that's what you should do to get started. That'll probably get you flying. And, it really depends on what's in the starter. A lot of FFG games have required you to get more than 1 starter, like L5R, and so like some of them have required you to get kind of 3 starters if you want enough of everything, if you kind of want to have everything available. I hope this isn't the case. I hope the starter and all of this early Clone War stuff launches alongside of another wave, or like a wave 1 that has all the rest of the ship packs and everything else that we can get. But I also really hope they move away from having expansions in ships. Because I want you to just be able to get the cards, I'm sorry, expansions in ships, cards, upgrade cards in ships. I want you to be able to just buy your upgrade card pack, have the cards you need, and then kind of just buy the ships for the sake of the ships. There's so many ships now, like in recent waves for Armada, that in addition to all the stuff you're going to put on the ship, they come with like, oh, and here's a bunch of other stuff, I think there's even, off the top of my head, I want to say there's even been a couple of ships that had upgrade cards that they wouldn't even use or couldn't even use, that were there just because, oh, well, the game needs this, so just drop it in this. And that's fine as a Band-Aid fix, but moving forward with Clone Wars, I really hope they just take a different approach. So all of those things are going to influence the way I approach, guides and content in the future. So, I know a lot of you guys are asking me. So if you're one of these people who are asking me, hey, what should I get to buy first? Can you, is your old list still valid? For the most part, yes. Are you planning to redo it? Absolutely, yes. And when? And that's probably going to be in August or later. And the thing is, we're expecting them to make this big announcement at the end of July. Well, presumably when Gen Con would have started, like July 29th or something, somewhere around there. But we don't know if they're actually going to make their announcement on the same day they would have had the in-flight report. Anyway, I know that FFG is trying to determine exactly how and what they're going to make any announcements, but presumably, I think it's a fair bet to say it will coincide with Gen Con Online. Whether it's part of the Gen Con convention or whether it's FFG's own individual thing remains to be seen. At least for Adepticon, they did their own thing. There's nothing to stop them from doing their own thing this time. Anyway, Lord knows I'm going to be talking all about it. But also, there may be fees for them to be part of Gen Con Online or whatever. They may just say, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just do our own thing and save money. We don't know yet. I don't know yet. But as soon as I do know, I'll bring it to you. And I guess the bigger question from that is, once they even announce all of this stuff officially, there's still no telling how much data they're going to give us. Will this upgrade card pack feature every upgrade in the game? Will it feature only certain upgrades in the game? Maybe they won't tell us what upgrades are coming in. And that's also going to have a big impact, because if it's only some upgrades, well, then, and if I don't know which ones they are, then I won't be able to use that information to benefit guides and, helping out new players. And there's one other question that actually new players are asking me all the time, and this one's real quick, is when is this ship going to come back in a reprint? So I can't find this ship. And all I can say to you there is just be patient. I don't know any more than your retailer knows. But I mean, outside of check FFG, check eBay, check local retailers. Maybe not eBay. If you are checking eBay, there's a pretty good chance, and something's rare, they're the only ones that have it. It's probably in a foreign language. It's probably not in, at least for English-speaking people that are looking for it. Usually there's stuff like that that's, in a different language. That's been the case lately, which is fine if you're just looking for extras. But if you are looking for your first one, you might have a difficult time trying to reference the cards. But just be aware that, like, on eBay, sometimes that's what happens. Amazon is another good place to check. Miniature Market and Cool Stuff used to be. I don't know if they're still getting the same distribution, because Alliance is no longer the distributor for Asmodee North America. So who knows? But yeah. So point is, all this stuff is getting reprinted all the time. FFG only has so much production capacity, and they have a lot of miniatures games right now. So. Hopefully with Clone Wars coming to Armada, we'll see more of a priority on getting Clone Wars stuff reprinted, because that's a big push. That's a major, it should be a major announcement later on at the end of July. So I'll be bringing to you everything I learned from that, but that's basically why I have not updated my what to buy first list yet, because there's such a potential change to how that works with an upgrade card pack being a thing that is coming. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to the patrons as well. Be sure to check out the links in the description below if you want to follow me on social media, or if you want to buy some merch and help support the channel that way. All those links are in the description. Thank you so much, and as always, have a great day.